Welcome to 100 Yards of Football this morning. It's our team preview today. And today we're going to highlight the 2021 Jacksonville Jaguars. If you like the video today, please come in and share it. I will be your host, Vincent Turner. And boy, Jacksonville is soon to become that city. Duval County. One more time, if you like the video today, please come in and share it. It's going to be an explosion in Jacksonville this year. And what I mean by that, when I preview the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Holy Trinity is going to arrive in Jacksonville. And it's got 3 stars that's going to head it up. Let me start with the man that's going to start this Trinity, Mr. Urban Meyer. Boy. 187-32 as a college football coach. 3 national titles. 2 at Florida and 1 at Ohio State. It's never had a losing season. He's the first guy that's part of the Holy Trinity. The second guy that's part of the Holy Trinity. I seen a young man play as a 10th grader for Cartersville High School and win a state championship in the Georgia Dome. I was there personally, and I knew then that he had some like greatness written across his chest. His name is Trevor Lawrence. We know him as Sunshine. 34-2 at Clemson. Never lost a regular season game. As a true freshman, won the national championship over Alabama, 44-16. And the third guy that's part of the Holy Trinity, the Messiah. And we know him as Timothy Tebow. Character A+, Christian A+, and one of the most lovable, exciting people that's ever been born here in the United States. That's what we got coming up with the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2021. Boy, it's going to be must-see TV down there in Duval County. And I promise you one thing, in Jacksonville, there will not be a 1-15 football team this year. Oh, yes, they're going to win some football games. So let's start with the quarterback. Sunshine, Mr. Trevor Lawrence. There's been a lot of players that's came into the position that's been great over the years, my 60 years. Steve Bartkowski was drafted number 1 overall. Peyton Manning, Joe Namath. This guy fixed the bill. And one thing I love about Trevor Lawrence, every level of competition, he's been able to handle it as a true trooper. When you look at his grade report, I'm just going from quarterback to person. Physical, A+. Mental, A+. Poise, A+. Cool, A+. Dedicated to the game, A+. Oh my God. Athletic, A+. Very demanding of his teammates, A+. Intelligence, A+. And works like a winner, A+. That's what the National Football League and Jacksonville is going to get. A young man is coming to do some work. Boy. Then look what he's got coming in at the running back position. And let me get back to Trevor Lawrence before I get to the running back position. 10,980 yards passing in his career, 90 touchdowns. But let's go to the running back position because this is where Trevor Lawrence is going to get some help. James Robinson last year, undrafted rookie, had over 1,000 yards. Now think about this. His numbers might go up. Then they brought in Carlos Hyde, who played for Urban Meyer at Ohio State, so he knows the system. An excellent run between the tackles runner, and he's got experience. And they got lucky when they got Travis Etienne. Oh, my God. 4,952 yards rushing in the ACC, 70 career touchdowns. 8 touchdowns receiving, and this is another critical part. He had 102 receptions. I'm going to call him the next coming up Percy Harvins, Florida Gators. Then you got Tim Tebow coming into receiver position. I don't want nobody to say this about Tebow. Everybody's saying he's getting a second chance. I don't have no problem with it. Because you know why? Because Urban Meyer knows that you got to bring somebody in that's dedicated to winning, that's got character, who's about that life, who's going to work to the level that's no other athlete work. Now, Tim Tebow might be lacking in other areas, But one thing about him, he wants to win and he's coming to work. And that's going to rub off on some of them young players in Jacksonville. I don't care about what the league is saying about Tim Tebow getting a second chance, but this guy comes to work. Then you're looking at the receiver position. They brought over Marvin Jones Jr. Think about this. 12 touchdowns in 2 years with Detroit Lions. Touchdown machine. A guy that's got experience, a guy that can take the top off the defense. Then they got Mr. Chernout, Colin Ball of Buffalo, who's a rookie last year, had 58 receptions, almost 600 yards. Then DJ Chalk, if he comes back to where he was in 2019, a Pro Bowl player. Boy, they got something serious. But the guy I think is going to surprise everybody at the receiving position, that's going to really be one of Trevor Lawrence's favorite targets, it's not talked about. The Eyes of Texas, Mr. Colin Johnson, 5th round pick, 6'6", 245. He's a guy that's a warrior, fell in the draft. And you know how I feel about warriors. Warrior, come out to play. And why I call him a warrior? A lot of people forget who his father was. When I was at the University of Arkansas from 1978 to 1981, and Arkansas's main competition and their rival was the University of Texas. And that was a guy that was serious at the free safety position and went on, got drafted by the Rams. His name was Johnny Johnson. That's Colin Johnson's father. He's got the warrior blood. So don't be surprised that he be the surprise player at that position. Then let's move over to the defensive side of the ball. Joe Cullen is coming over from the Baltimore Ravens. He's a guy that's got a lot of injury, was a D-line coach. But just look at all those great defenses Baltimore's had in the past. And that guy's part of the organization. He's going to be the new DC. And I think this team has a lot of special talent because what they did in free agency. Let's start with the two studs who last year were hurt. Josh Allen is still a talent. He's going to be a better player this year. Lavon Chason out of LSU. He's going to be a player. They're two guys that got a lot of talent. Now they finna get coached at a high level. Urban Meyer and Joe Cullen is finna take them to the next level. Then they brought in a guy that was very underrated, but he did his thing in the Windy City. He got that money. Roy Robertson Harris is a football player, brother. He's coming over to support that D-line. Then you got Malcolm Brown, who the Jaguars got from New Orleans, one of the best run stoppers. He gets an A+, the Eyes of Texas. Then let's go to the linebacker position. Very strength for the football team. Joe Sherbert had 149 tackles, was a great key acquisition for Cleveland. Now with better coaching, better talent, game finna go up to another level. Then Miles Jack. We've been following on Miles Jack for a long time. When he came out of UCLA, I said that he was one of the best players to come in the league. He was a running back at UCLA and he played linebacker. I believe he scored like 10 touchdowns in his career as a running back. Ever since he's been in Jacksonville, he's been a baller. And I think this year, he's going to be one of them guys that's going to want the spotlight because the Holy Trinity is in Jacksonville now. Then looking at the secondary, they brought over one of the Griffin twins, Shaquille from Seattle. A lot of people talk about Jalen Ramsey being a good corner. A lot of people talk about Marcus Peters. I get that. But Shaquille Griffin has been one of them top 5 guys. He's got that lockdown status. He can play. He got his money. He's going to be a huge upgrade to the Jaguars secondary. C.J. Henderson got hurt last year. Had to miss some time. But he's a guy coming into his second year. He still can play. He's a Florida Gator. And I expect him to step his game up under Joe Cullen. Then they got the dog out of the University of Georgia, Tyson Campbell. He's going to be the nickel guy. And he can play. He's got some first-round talent. And he's going to be solid. And then at the safety position, the Jaguars made another good acquisition, Rashawn Jenkins, coming from the Chargers. He can play. He's a guy that's got super talent. And listen for this name on the defensive side of the ball. And I'm not talking about the Cisco kid that song War put out when I was 15 years old back in the 70s. Andre Cisco out of Syracuse University. He got hurt, had to sit out. He only played 4 games in 2020. but he's a serious playmaker. He's a warrior. Warriors come out to play. 13 interceptions in 24 games. He's a guy that can be special. I'm going to be honest. The Jacksonville Jaguars, all eyes of the NFL are finna be on the 904 Duval County. Because it's going to be a holy trinity. Urban Meyer, Trevor Lawrence, Tim Tebow. And they definitely going to be better than a 1-15 team. If I would put my money, and you got a guy like Trevor Lawrence, 34-2 at Clemson, has done nothing but win. Urban Meyer, 187-32, 3 national titles. Tim Tebow, who won 2 national titles when he was at Florida. Man, I wouldn't bet against that. And this team has got some talent, brother. As I just exposed to you here on 100 Yards of Football. And as the owner, Sean Kahn, said, hey, man, I'm not really believing that we're going to take steps. We coming this year. And Jacksonville, as I'm going to mention, it's going to be must-see TV. The Holy Trinity, the Nile River, the sea, Moses is going to arrive in Jacksonville. And there's 3 names that's going to be behind it. Trevor Lawrence, Urban Meyer, and the Messiah, Tim Tebow. You better get your popcorn ready because it's going to be a good football team. And my final words when I talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars, since we talking about Holy Trinity, I'm going to talk about the great words of Kirk Franklin. For those who you think gospel music has gone too far, you think we got too radical with our message, glory, 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 stomp, stomp, stomp. The Jacksonville Jaguars going to start doing some stomping in the National Football League this year in the AFC. And they working down there in Jacksonville. One more time, the Holy Trinity. Urban Meyer, 187-32. 3 national titles. Trevor Lawrence, 90 career touchdowns, almost 11,000 yards, 34-2 at Clemson. 1 national title as a true freshman. And the Messiah, Tim Tebow. If you like the video today, please come in and share. I'm your host, Vincent Turner. Y'all enjoy the rest of this July 4th weekend. And be blessed. And have a great time. I'm Vincent Turner, 100 Yards of Football. And I'd like to say this morning, I want to give kudos and love to my producer. A guy that's put me in this position where I'm having fun, and I couldn't be more proud of him. And he's putting the production together for our show today. He's out of Oak Ridge, Tennessee. My man, Mr. Jeremiah Daniel Long. God bless, and y'all have a wonderful